So the new unsubscribe episode dropped with an update on Buffalo, and I can finally talk about some of the stuff I've known for the last couple of weeks, thankfully. And on that note, everyone, welcome back. And if it's your first time here, just plain welcome. Buffalo. The gift that just keeps on giving, kind of like chlamydia. And really, that's probably the most apt comparison I've been able to come up with yet. What is going on? First, let me apologize for the setup. This is not how things are going to be. As said in my last video, new desk, threw everything out of whack, trying to get it fixed, trying to get it updated, but this is what we have to work with right now. Anyways, Buffalo, back to the important shit. What went on? Oh my God, if you haven't seen the unsubscribe episode, go watch it. It's got rich. There's plenty of funny. These guys can't help but be funny, but they're talking about something pretty serious, including a few things that I have talked with Nick about. I got a chance to speak with him by phone a couple of weeks ago. We talked about it. I wrote up a very, very long piece at Town Hall that was set to drop today. I set it up after the episode dropped on Pepperbox. Got the okay from Nick that I was ready to roll, and holy crap. First one I want to talk about is the case of a couple of kids who got hold of some THC gummies. Apparently, a teacher claims he found them. I thought it was a she, but it was a he. Claims he found these gummies. Thought they were Sour Patch Kids. They were actually a brand called Stony Patch Kids, apparently, that look a little bit at a glance like Sour Patch Kids. Except for the fact that there's fucking marijuana leaves all over the place. Go figure. Apparently gave these to the kids. The two kids between them split them, ate the gummies, ate them all, and had a problem. And really what you have to understand is this is a bag of gummies that all told is 500 milligrams of THC. Now, I don't do marijuana. It's not recreational here in Georgia. I'm also a gun owner, and federal law still does not acknowledge the fact that it can be THC is legal at state level in a lot of places. I don't fool with it. Even if it might help with some issues I've got, help with some medical stuff, it's just not. I don't feel like going to federal prison, right? Anyway, so I had to look up a little bit of some numbers on THC for a moment. And found a way. It's called Natural Way CBD, and it has a dosage chart, and it's pretty. Seems like it's pretty standard across the board. For me, at 240 pounds, 48 milligrams is considered a high strength dose. Okay. And a lot of different places will tell you 30 to 50. It's the range is there. The range is definitely there. And these 11, 12-year-old kids got around 250 milligrams of THC. Yeah. Now that's a colossal fuck up. It is a colossal fuck up. There's problems. But the school did the important thing. They did call an ambulance. Someone dialed 911. And one thing we learned was that this was not something a teacher was allowed to do. It had to always go through an administrator. Because yes, in an emergency, that's exactly what you want to do. You definitely want to have as many steps in the process of calling for emergency treatment, emergency services as possible. Because that always streamlines it, makes it just that much faster than a teacher picking up a phone and calling 911 and then telling the administrator after that. Anyways, EMTs show up. All they know is that there has been a drug overdose. A couple of kids are overdosing on drugs. They don't know what. It takes them somewhere around 10 to 20 minutes to get into the building in the first place. Then they have to find an administrator because no one will tell them where the kids are. No one's telling these guys, they haven't even told them it's THC. They're just saying, you have to talk to an administrator. School resource officer tries to go, oh, the kids are fine. They can go back to class. They couldn't. But it takes still more time to find someone to take the EMTs to the students. When they get there, the EMTs report that they tried to hide the gummies. Finally said, hey, let me see that. They finally get it in their hands and go, okay, we know what's up. We're going to take the kids. Had to argue about it, but they're the experts at that point. They took the kids. When they came back later to get that packaging, it was lost. Right? And yes, I'm putting lost because not only is it a direct quote that was given to Nick and then to me, but I also put in quotation marks because I don't believe that for a fucking minute. Right? This is a school system that is alleged to have destroyed evidence in the past by erasing CCTV footage, throwing out a package, might look bad on their school. Yeah. How they thought it would help them, their case, is irrelevant because it wasn't. It was never going to. Right? There was no way to get around this. But that's what they did. There were numerous teachers talking about retribution. Right? There was I talked about how, I think I talked about it in a video. I know, if not, I know I wrote about it. But there was the McKinley shooting in 2022. And they launched an independent investigation after that. Those reports have never been released. The Buffalo police don't have it. The schools haven't released it. The attorneys for the kid that was hurt, for the kid that was stabbed, don't have it. Nobody has this except for the schools, and they haven't released it. The law firm who did it says, hey, attorney-client confidentiality. They can't release it. But it wasn't the only one. There was another. There was a stabbing at another school. I think it was Richmond or Richland. I don't remember the name. They've got video and everything on the unsubscribe episode. But teacher had warned them, hey, this door isn't secure. This door is not very secure. I had a kid bring a knife in through that door. We need to do something about that. We need to take care of that. And he took it, he took it up the chain of up the chain of command like he was supposed to. And what happened? Nothing. Someone got stabbed. He stands in front of the school board and goes, I told you. Remember, the school board went, I didn't know. You didn't tell me. He did. Oh, yeah. Then the school board, the school tried to lay off the entire social studies department that this guy, who happened to be the school union representative, he was part of the social studies department, and they wanted to shit can him. Big court battle. He got to keep his job. I think they all got to keep their job. He's kind of untouchable. Every other teacher that Nick talked to was scared of retribution. They are afraid to stand up for their kids because, yeah, they may love the kids. They may care about the kids, but you know what? They have families. They have bills to pay. And truth be told, when it comes to looking out for some kids that you care about, but they're not yours, or putting food on the table for your kids, where's your priority going to be? Okay? I'd like to think I have the guts to make that stand. I like to think I'm the kind of person who would go, fuck it, risk it all. I'm not in that position. I'm not going to judge them for trying to deal with things the best they can. Okay? This is a dysfunctional school system. And it gets worse. Because Rich told a story that has happened since this aired. A janitor got jumped by 2 students. Got the shit beaten out of him. Cops show up. Okay, we know what's going on. We need the name of the students. The principal called the school system's attorney. This would be the same asshole that basically slandered Rich. Tried to pretend Rich was slandering the school system. But they At least that's my understanding, or my inference, I should say. Called and on advice of legal counsel, refused to give police the name of the two students. Now, this is one who beat up a staff member, a member of her staff, someone who answers to her, and she refused to give the names. Dumbass signed admission against interest that she wasn't going to give the names per advice of legal counsel. If you were a teacher in the Buffalo public school system, your administrators don't give two shits about you. You could be murdered. And they would have possibly enabled it. Because let's be honest, these two kids, they beat up a janitor and get away with it? You think they're going to just stop? You think they're going to go, well, we pushed our luck as far as we can. It's over now. No. And then let's talk about the former DA. I've talked about him in a couple videos too, right? He said he never had an issue with the school system. They were always cooperative. Rich called bullshit on that because he talked about the rape of a 12-year-old girl. I remember this story early on. I've talked about this story. Child was allegedly raped near a school pool. The administrator claims that she did her own investigation. Nothing needed to happen. The girl was lying. That's what the administrator said. A year later, it drops with Buffalo SVU. They go to investigate. DA subpoenas information. Principal refuses to give anything up because she conducted her own investigation. That was John Flynn. He was the DA. That lying sack of shit sat there and lied. Why? Well, Nick says he works for the same law firm that the school system uses. That would explain it, wouldn't it? Seems like a conflict of interest if that's accurate. All right. I'm worked up. I'm angry. I wrote 1,500 words for a story about this stuff, and I'm doing a video about it now because different audiences. This is vile, right? As it stands, the guys are probably going to own WGRZ there in Buffalo because they slandered Rich, and Nick has proof. Again, they talked about that on the podcast. But this is disgusting. See, I have issues with the education field. I have issues with teachers indoctrinating kids to their own politics and all this other stuff. But I'm also realistic enough to know that out of all of the teachers, it's a tiny subset that are the problem. It's that 1% that make the other 99% look bad. It's not even an 80-20 thing. It's probably is like a 1% to 99% thing. Most of these teachers got into education because of whatever reason. But a lot of them are dedicated, hardworking people who want to educate your children. They love your kids. And the administrators will fuck over every single one of them. Not just in Buffalo. I'm absolutely sick to my stomach about it. And I'm not giving up, right? The guys are, like, this is going to kind of wrap things up a little bit for them, at least for the time being. They're going to be targeting some school board races there in Buffalo, and that's going to be fun. But I got to find more. This has happened in other places. We got to expose it. We have to, because our children deserve better. All right? They deserve better. And so we need to do that. I'm not quitting. I'll be talking about a bunch of other stuff, but I'm going to be all keeping my eyes out for more cases like this. And we will show somehow that this is not going away. We are not going away. I don't know how to do anything else. So on that note, I am going to wrap things up. What do you think? You think I'm taking this too far? You think I'm taking it too personal? You on board for the ride? What have you? Let me know down in the comments. While you're down there, do me a favor, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, notification bell, all that jazz. Every little bell helps the almighty algorithm, as does the comments. And if you want to support the channel, there is a coffee link down below. There will be other things coming up, ways to support the channel soon. And on that note, I am going to wrap it up, and I will see you all in the next video.